Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm prepping and have prepped for reading for a lovely woman I've been connecting with in the last couple months through my channel. And this reading that I'm doing is with the WildSeer's, which is the combination of the LightSeers and the Wild Reflections. This reading is going out today for Dawn, and I hope that she finds the information valuable. I've brought in her guides and guardians to connect with mine. I did a few little things today, like for instance, this little, get a hold of it here, this little tiny pot. Get it in focus. Come on, there we go. So I found this just yesterday, and it's now my lucky charm. It was my grandmother's, who's passed long, long ago, but she always had it on the windowsill in her kitchen, and I'm using it now as a charm for connecting with others. So it's been sitting here on the cards, and I've been shuffling them for the last couple days. And well, what else did I bring? Well, I sprinkled some rose here for our heart connection, brought in Kuan Yin. I also brought in some calendula from my garden and sprinkled it around because I think Dawn needs a little bit of strength at this time. And I brought her in some of my spirea, which is always good for attracting wealth and that sense of security. So I'm just going to pause and adjust the camera and move some of the paraphernalia, and let's get into the reading. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle a few more times, and you can see the two sets in here, but for some reason when I shuffle, the Wild Reflections does sort of bunch together. But we're putting it out there now that this is a connection and a reading for Dawn. May the next 3 to 6 months be revealed in the Celtic cross that I'm going to lay out, and the most pertinent information be heard and understood so it moves her forward on a positive path. Okay, so we're going to cut these cards and see where we end up. Okay, so this will be the situation, the influence, and the root of the matter. And as I said, we're working on the next 3 to 6 months, and I'll hold the cards up and try to show them as best I can. So, the situation. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands there. And for me, this is a very creative person, a very passionate person. This may be someone that Dawn is connected to, or it could just be talking about her passions, her strengths, and her energies. She really needs to tap into that strength, that quality of leadership when I see the lion there, and being a leader versus a follower. If this represents you, Dawn, I'm just suggesting that you need to really step out of your comfort zone, maybe. Really stoke the fires within you. Find that passion, that strength, and just open yourself to new experiences, and doing so without any doubts. When we're working with the King of Wands, we're often working with someone's energy that is more on the positive side. So if you really need to tap into that at this time, do so. Or if there's someone that you can communicate with who has those talents, that ability to see the positive in a situation, and he flies by the seat of his pants sometimes. There's that, I can do this, I am not sure of the outcome, but I'm just going to step forward into it. So that is a great card to have there. The influencing card, ooh, baby, 2 strong cards together. And I know she said she was celebrating Imbolc right now in the UK. So isn't that interesting with the little lamb? So I hope that any rituals that you're doing at this time bring you this strength. So this is another card, another fiery card that goes well with the King of Wands. And again, to me, it's about being that leader, being that strong sense of energy, but not the one that goes forward and pushes it onto other people. These are your strengths, your ideas, and you're tapping into that, I think, right now for yourself. But being a leader means you influence other people as well. So taking a look right now at your strong points, and tapping into that energy and going with it. Because this card flows this way for me in this reading, and we're going to look at how it sits with all the other cards as well. Eights can be matters of the mind as well. So really work on that sense of, I can do this, I will do this, and I will be successful at this. Now, the root of the matter, the Hierophant, tells me that she does take the time and find a little bit of stillness. And in that stillness, possibly is where she finds her strength and her ideas and her passions. With the staircase here, it's like she's building towards something fantastic. And you can see in the joy on this person's face how tapping into the energy that surrounds her, her strengths as well, really lights her up. And because this is very much a leader card, I think when she really reaches that feeling of accomplishment, then she really shines and other people recognize that. The Hierophant is someone who is there also for other people, very much like the King of Wands. Their strengths allows them to encourage others as well as to rise above any difficulties. Somewhat traditionalist, but it's just sometimes people need to have a certain, when I think of systems, it's a certain pattern. It's also being in a cycle and having faith in yourself to take these steps to really access your strengths, your vitality. So that is a major arcana sitting right at the base of the spread. So have faith in yourself. And if you need to attract other people around you with similar strengths, do so. And this is a good time to do it. And if you can do some of this work at the altar, where you're really tapping into that new beginning, those new strengths that are stirring underneath you, those passions that really need to be released. So I hope you have some creative avenues in which to do all of this. So here, what comes to pass, what you need to realize is, if you've had some barriers or some blockages to this strength, it's now time to take steps to take those barriers down. You've been protecting yourself a little bit, but you see that beautiful light, that glow right there in that card. I really, really like that. Hold on to that fire and step over this barrier and seek out where you can use your light and your passion and be a leader for other people. So I'm just going to shift this down a little bit. And for me, the next one is how you see things going. Ooh, the Sun card, another fiery one that you'll be able to radiate your energies. Drop the barrier. Yes, you've been a little bit too maybe careful. And the guides and guardians are suggesting you really need to shine, show your strength, and tap into that fiery nature of you. Really beautiful. Okay, so it's good to have this positive attitude as you're moving forward. So in the next 3 months, what can you expect? Well, this is very active. These are very passive. in a good way for the high priestess, because she's tapping into the knowledge. She's finding her truths. And usually those truths are things that she can look back on that she has experienced and take all what she needs to from those experiences as learning. She's very much into learning. She's very much into her spiritual, and her spirituality is part of what makes her and drives her forward. But there will be moments here when she's going through that she will have to take some time and sit with it, because the high priestess has those quiet moments, those quiet times. And if this is another person, then I get the feeling that dropping the barrier allows his strengths to come forward, or hers, and just to sort of let the energy work. There is that sense of fire and water here, and you just need to bring it into balance, like the high priestess, which is number 2. And 2 can be communicating. And if this is your inner strength, it's time to tap into that and really move yourself forward. You have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot to share. And you do feel things deeply. Very nice card. Okay, so then we're going to go on to how you see yourself at this time. Usually sits here for me. That you're spending some time in thoughts of connecting with emotions and feelings. And to me, this is a card of remembering as well, which goes along nicely with the high priestess. Remembering the good times, remembering those valuable times, those heart-connecting times, and maybe some parts of your youth. But also this card comes up for me in readings for people when they reconnect with someone that they've been apart from for a bit. That person comes back into your life, whether that's in your meditations or actual. Will be interesting to hear how that materializes. 6s are healing. So I think you spend some time remembering, which is what the high priestess is very good at, and from those moments taking the positive and moving forward. And if this is reconnecting with yourself, if you've been struggling a little bit, it's time to show some self-love and maybe do some meditations around that, where you become your best friend again in a way that you trust yourself, you trust your ideas, you trust your feelings, and you trust your intuition. And if you've wavered a little bit with that, it's time to reconnect with that feeling of inner trust. And also surrounding yourself with people that you can trust. Okay, so I'm going to slide that one there for now. How other people see you at this time, which is the 10 of Pentacles. It's a very happy card. It can be a sense of security. So maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, when you do this real deep dive into your creative passions and your energies, that you really find a sense of security. And I think also surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And if you have family support, because this is the 10 of Pentacles, then really rejoice in that. If there is someone in the family who has got your back, who's there in a very positive way, encouraging you, then tap into that. And there's that friendly little dog again that we saw in the previous picture. So you might be finding a way to really build your sense of security. When I pulled a few cards prior to doing the reading, some of them were upside down. So I really would like to see your sense of security, your bonding, really putting down some roots in whatever that is that you are passionate about, and finding your tribe. That's kind of neat. Okay, now this one is usually hopes, dreams, and fears. Now this one is upside down, and it is a 2. So something is out of balance with the relationships. Whether there's a struggle in your own self between strengths and inner work, how you project yourself and how you feel inside, there seems to be a little bit of imbalance. And with the 2 of Cups connected to this, there may be relationships that you've let go or had to let go of, and you trust your gut in that you did the right thing. And some relationships don't emotionally fulfill you. They seem to be a little bit more of a strain. And there's something just not clicking there. So finding your strength again will bring you that sense of balance. And try not to stress about relationships that are not working, relationships that are not fulfilling, or parts of yourself that you need to bring into balance. I think you need to sit with that one a little bit. Okay, and my last card is usually how things actually go. And so, I was going to prop that up there, but it's out of the screen. This is the Fool. That I think it's time, Dawn, for you to really step out of your comfort zone, find your strengths, really sit and analyze some of those strengths, because your mind is very active, I think, at this time. But with the Fool card, it tells me that, like this, there's some risks that you need to take. And these are risks that you have been, I think, tuning into the feeling of I need to really tap into my strengths. I want to be courageous, but it will take a little bit of a risk. And if you haven't been projecting this way to people or to yourself, that is going to be an interesting pathway for you. So this one would normally sit there. Let's tilt this a little bit. So this one was how you saw things going: strong, vibrant, leadership. And this one is how it actually goes, that you will have to step out of your comfort zone. You will have to take some risks. I say will, but this is you, and everybody has to move at their own pace. If you don't want to do that, you don't do that. But this is a reading to try to motivate you, to move you forward on your journey. So this one here, though, over top of this, there's a lot of emotion going on here. And possibly those emotions and fears and doubts may get in the way. So you're going to have to come back to this if you really want to move forward. So if there are skills that you need to develop, this is a really good time. Spring is a great time to plant some new energy, some new ideas, some new feelings, and really, Dawn, I would say, don't hold yourself back. It's time for you to step out onto a new path and enjoy the adventure, because life is got to have a little bit of adventure to it in order to keep us excited about things. So I'm going to pause and pull this back so you can see it all. Now, when I look at it as a whole like this, I think your spirituality is going to be bringing you that sense of security. That is something really wonderful there. And it's in this working of the High Priestess that you find your stability and your balance. Also, when I pause for a second there, I see that there are no swords here. So that tells me it's just finding that idea that will lead you to this journey. You have strength here behind you. You've pushed the fear away. Remember what it is that you really wanted to do. and find your security, leave your fear behind, and take that leap of faith. So, Dawn, I'm going to leave that there for you. And I hope that this helps you. And if you want to connect, you know where to find me.